I just don't feel like I could do this anymore, man. I don't know if you guys feel like me, but dude, I feel like we're really, really close to being on the verge of something very soon with where things are going. Uh, Especially in the world in the Middle East. So it's about to kick off big time. And all these storms, bro, that are brewing with everything, bro. It's just like I feel it. I feel it in the air. I feel something. I feel deep down. It's like something's been pulling me lately to telling me that we're that close to a rapture or what's coming to the world. But I do feel like we're that close. We are that close. We are on the verge of something, and the world's going through so much stuff at this point that it's beginning to, uh, you know, be built into something new and what's coming and the coming, yeah, the harpazo, dude, and everything, and they're putting, and I do feel like they're putting together and building a beast system and putting all these plans together and making all this stuff. Dude, yes, I do think this is a year. I do think it's just I feel like something's just drawing me closer to knowing that stuff is that that the stuff is coming is very close and it's almost here. And with Iran, Israel, U.S., Turkey, Russia, all these things are going off and falling into place. All these prophecies are unfolding like it's never unfolded before in recent years. The Daniel prophecy, all these things are just, it's just like, I just feel like April is just like the month where it's extremely close. Because I've noticed like stuff's getting harder for me and the attacks and a lot of stuff and everything. And I've just, I long to want to go, and not be in this world. And I don't want to be here anymore. I long to go and not be in this world and not want to be here. And I don't see a point to be here. If you're just like me, I don't know if this world doesn't have much left to offer me except pain, suffering, loneliness, and hardship. And me always just, being by myself and everything getting harder. Now I pretty much lost my friend and we haven't been able to do anything. And, he's always busy and now it's got all this massive weather, bro. I'm just sick of this world. I am. Sick of this world. I do. I'm getting to long for the day, and I'm getting closer to where I want God to come back, and I want God's return. I want Him to come back. I want to see Him come back. I'm waiting for Him to return to the world to get everybody, because I'm getting sick of this world. Like I said, this doesn't offer me. I just listen. I'm getting to a point where it's just I find it more than ever this year that I waiting for that day to happen and come close and want it to happen. And so that's why I pay so much attention to the world and the Middle East and Israel, all that stuff. And I'm waiting for that day. I says I can't, and I find myself drawing more and more toward that, and just find myself more than ever just you know drawing closer and waiting for that day because it's just I feel like this world doesn't like to offer me except just constantly the same thing. I'm just getting sick of being here. And everything. It's just the same concept. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's like something's drawing me away from everything to where I just don't want to be here. And everything and the more and more I listen to music or I listen to stuff or I listen to certain things, I find myself listening to stuff where stuff in music where I have an image in the back of my mind where one day all this stuff is no longer going to be and it's going to be better. It's all going to be gone and it's going to be a better day. Better days are ahead, and everything. And it's just, I don't have to be on this earth and I get sick of it. So I don't know if y'all feel just like me, but I'm waiting for the day for the world to waiting for the day to leave and be out of here, and for God to come back and get His people, come back and get the chosen ones and the elect. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're biding our time, we're doing what we've got to do while we're left here on earth, and we're doing what we got to do until we're no longer here, and what's coming, and everything. And He's holding back the restrainer because He's trying to tell people what's going on and to make them aware of what's coming and to help them and to do what needs to be done, do the best, and have people tell people tell have tell people the stuff that he tells. Have people tell people the stuff is coming, and have them tell them the stuff that have people tell them the things that are represented. I think that we're not supposed to keep this to ourselves. We're supposed to share it and tell individuals what's coming, and to let them know. These things that are revealed to us, we're supposed to tell to other people. So I think that's our mission here on Earth, and we're supposed to do it until we're gone. So, and it's tough, but that causes a lot of attacks, a lot of conflict, a lot of issues. We feel like we're to blame for everything, and everything's our fault. Everything's our fault, and we're under a lot of stress, pressure. I do feel like, yeah, that's why we get attacked and oppressed, and we go through like a lot more harder stuff, because we're in a days where we're trying to we're got conflict, and everything that go through stuff. Like I do believe that we suffer more than other people because of what we're doing while we're still on this earth, and but we're not supposed to just keep it. We're not supposed to just not tell people about it and doing what we gotta do while we're still here, because it says we'll reap the benefits when we leave. So but we do. We suffer a lot of attacks and a lot of hard stuff in the last go. And the prospect and with everything going on. And everything. But there is going to come a day pretty soon where the restrainer's going to be lifted, and yeah, God's going to come back and get His chosen ones and His elect, His chosen and His elect, His special people that are still here on this earth. So and everything. And we're gonna be gone. So I think I'm waiting for that day, because I just get tired of literally feeling like I can't get it right no matter what I do, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this earth. I'm sick of this world. I'm sick of everything, and I long for the day where I'm going to be in paradise, or it's going to be a much better place, and everything. So much has changed, including after my father died. Just and everything and stuff. So it's just. Yeah, pretty soon we're gonna be taken, and everything. The elect and God's elect and God's chosen. The people that He has specifically set apart and prepared for what's coming very soon. And everything, or to get His people, and it's very sad. It has to be like this, but unfortunately, in the last days, it said that God would separate certain people from certain individuals with the way it is, and in a household, in a family, and certain individuals with groups, they would separate them from each other, because of certain things, and it would be like this. I was watching The Watchmen last night, and it said that God would do this. He would have certain family members or certain people not like certain individuals in the final days. So and everything. So it would be that way. We would suffer attacks. They would not like us, and we would be persecuted and hated just like everyone else. Like we'd be persecuted like God was, and like Christ was on this earth. And we would struggle. So but we would be redeemed when we leave. So and everything. Unfortunately, I got a video to show you guys about that actually, but we'll do it after this. But this was quite interesting. But yeah, it's unfortunate, dude. This world doesn't have much left to offer me, dude. And have you seen how everything's just getting worse with prices and the economy, and everything's going up? The Switch costs $500 now going into June, and everything's just gotten extremely expensive, bro. This world's going to hell in a handbasket, and it's crumbling right in front of our eyes. Pretty soon, God's going to be coming back to get His people soon. I guarantee you. I just see that coming very soon. I really do. I don't think we're going to be here. I really don't. You're not going to be able to live in all this. It's not going to work. It's going to take at minimum. It's going to take a day's wage to afford average necessities of life. And everything, and certain stuff, including bread. And it's hard, but yeah, basically it comes to and everything. It's going to be that way pretty soon, bro. It is, and it's sad, but it's coming, and I don't know how to convince people anymore with what I do, because I'm always a bad guy for what I do, and it's always my fault. So You know, I can only leave it in God's hands, like I said. But you know, I do what I do because I care for stuff in general, including my own family. But well, you know, you can't win them all, can you? Um, but yeah, I'm waiting for that day, bro. I really am. And we're gonna go through that. We were, you know, and everything. Unfortunately, but I just don't see stuff holding up. The tariffs are gonna kill our economy. The world's gonna be decimated with war. It's looking like that's what's gonna happen once we're taken out of here with the rapture. And you know, and if they manage to get through it with tribulation, and the U.S. government's going to be, you know, changed, including banning church and state together and making Sundays a law. This should worry people with what's coming, and we're going to be out of here. So you know, and everything. It's like, well, you're going to be in a very dystopian, AI-based, robotic, crazy ass future. If you want to be here and stay here, be my guest. But you know, I'm just saying, up to you. You know, your choice. You have free will for a reason. But, you know, we'll see where things go, bro, I guess. Uh, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. You know, I said people would face these type of persecution in the final days. And it would happen. It would happen, you know. So, you know, and everything. Um, and you're not going to be able to live in this world, man, with the way they're taking it. They're building the beast system. They're building the thing for the rise of the Antichrist. They're working on doing the buy and sell stuff. It's this year. This is a year. And this is a year of the rapture. This is definitely the year. We just don't know what day or time, but it's coming. I think it's very close, especially with the whole thing with Iran and the U.S. and all that. So it's close, very close. That's more closer than I thought. That's probably more closer than I think it's ever been personally, with the way I see things lining up, including April 5th. So pay close attention to April 5th, because there's some big stuff going down April 5th. So when it comes to, you know, and everything, right? Not to mention the U.S. is bringing in tons of planes to bomb Iran. So these prophecies are falling into place, bro. People are running out of time. They don't got much time left, and pretty soon they're not going to have it left, because the clock is ticking. And we're doing our best to warn people and tell them. But, well, you know, they hate us. What would you expect? They don't like us. They hate what we do. You know? So, you know, what else are you gonna do to get people's attention? Or, you know, like, do they wonder why? Do they wonder why we do? After a while, we're human beings too, and we get fed up and frustrated too after a while. Even as people who try to do the best we can with stuff, you know, we have emotions. You know, we get upset too. You know, and everything. We get passionate sometimes too. You know, and everything. You know, I'm not sure. You know, we get upset with people because they won't listen. I don't know, dude. You ever seen a preacher on a street or a pastor try to, like, literally get people's attention? And sometimes he actually, you know, changes the way he goes about his style. So yeah. So you know, and everything. People don't pay attention, bro. You know, and everything. So yeah, we've been given human emotions for a reason. We're supposed to use them. So, you know, and everything, right? To make people aware. I don't know. It's sad. It really is. At the end of the day, okay, that this is coming. This is what this has come to. It's not sad what's coming. That's a good day, for most people at least. But it's sad for a lot of individuals to don't understand, you know, and everything. Dude, yes, and these tariffs already looking like they're going to crash the economy, because there's, you know, and China is struggling with stuff over there. So because the Nintendo Switch is made in China, and Nintendo made the Switch, they've risen the price to $500. The Switch is $500 at launch. That thing is going to be, there's no way nobody's going to buy that, on top of them saying they're going to charge $80 to $90 for games. So yes, you know, this world, this economy is screwed, whether you like them or not, you know, and everything. And it's not good. It's not good. I'm going to be frank with people, and everything. If I'm not here in the coming weeks to upload this stuff, once I get my ban taken away, which is still is the stupidest thing I've ever had to deal with from Google. Okay, for third party content, whatever that was about. I still don't know why I get hit for third party content for stuff, but and everything. I'm not still here. I mean, frank with you, dude. The economy's going to crash, and it looks like these tariffs are going to kill it. And the reason why I think it's so expensive with the Switch after Direct and the games and all the other stuff, yeah, is because the tariffs are killing. The tariffs have pretty much raised prices in China. Okay, when it comes to and everything, all right. And there's been even more tariffs put on stuff during what Trump calls Liberation Day today. Today was Liberation Day for April 2nd. All right? And there's even more tariffs. These things are pretty much destroying the economy, bro. They're destroying the economy. They're rebuilding the economy with electronic currency, digital currency, and all this stuff in the future. Probably looks like crypto or Bitcoin, XRP, stuff like that. They're rebuilding the government into a whole new perspective, making way for the one world order and the new world order and the one world government, or the rise of the Antichrist beast by himself system. It's probably the year, and everything, right? And they're, and they're pretty much, using war to bring that about. If you're not aware of it, this is their agenda, bro. They're using war to bring the Antichrist onto the world scene. Yes, they're using war to bring about this plan. War is their final agenda to bring about their final plan. Everything else didn't work, including assassinating the former president. What are we going to do now? Well, let's have a war. And we can bring order out of chaos. So when it comes to, and everything, right? Let's have a war. Let's put the world in war, World War III, and that's a good way to bring about the Antichrist world leader, like Hitler, because that's how Hitler rose to power in World War II. So think about it. Why wouldn't the Antichrist use war to establish power? See? I'm very smart and intelligent, and I know what's coming, I know what's going on, and I know what they're doing. And I know what's coming to the world, but they don't want to listen to me. And they don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to believe, or they don't want to take what I have to say into consideration, because either I irritate people that make them mad, or they get upset, or they don't want to hear the truth. I'm done preaching. Now I'm warning people and telling them what's coming. You don't got much time left. The rapture is very, very close, and you do not have time to choose what you want to do. It's very well coming in these last days. Okay, we're probably in the final moments of what's coming with everything. We're in the final moments of stuff pretty soon that could set things off. But the rapture's probably soon here, pretty soon, and everything. And if you see what I see, this world's going to hell, and it's not going to be, this is going to be the new normal. This, if I see the world's going to hell, and this is not, and stuff is not going to go back to normal. It's not going to change. This is a new normal that is happening. It comes to and everything. It's been a new normal like this since COVID, and they've just literally just kind of just built on this. Okay, if you know what's coming, if you know what's happening, this is a new normal, including global chaos, which is happening, and everything. War is just going to be the final puzzle piece put into the fray to bring the Antichrist into power after the rapture. So when it comes to and everything, it is. Just like COVID, they're going to create another massive event to cause something big to happen to bring this person into power. They are to bring this concept back into power, or to get what they call the Great Reset, or the 2030 agenda. Yeah, they're using war to bring the Antichrist to power. They are. It costs the right and everything. It's a part of prophecy. It's going to set things off. It's in biblical perspectives. All these things are falling into place like it said it did. And the whole Daniel The whole Daniel prophecy is unfolding where he told him to shut the book up and not unveil it till the end. It is. It's all happening right in front of our eyes. And people are too blind to see it because they don't have discernment. They don't have the spiritual knowledge to see, to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So when it comes to, and everything, it is. It's all happening. It's all there. The signs and everything are all there. It's all right there for people to see. It's unfortunately sad that they don't get it. They don't know it's coming. War is just going to be the final agenda on the perspective to bring this person to power. I think it's going to be Jared Kushner, but a lot of people won't see the Antichrist. They don't know he's going to go to rapture. But I think it's Kushner. I think he's going to be the one that's going to take power. He's going to be the one that's going to come into the Middle East and establish the 7-year covenant, the Daniel 9:27 covenant, and the covenant with many nations, to bringing peace to the Middle East, and sign the covenant with the sign the 7-year peace covenant with Israel and Palestine, and then he's going to be the one involved with dividing and separating the Israelis from the Palestinians. Trump's Gaza plan is actually Kushner's behind Trump's Gaza plan. So when it comes to, and everything, see, I do my research, I watch, I know what I'm talking about, I prepare for this stuff. I've been seeing it for a long time, and for a while. It's been revealed to me, and God's shown it to me. I have discernment, and everything. And I've been seeing all this stuff for a while now. That's what I've been telling people. It's up to them if they want to believe it or not, or want to go with it. They have free will, of course. We can just tell them these things, and then they can do what they want to do. But yeah, and everything, right? But we've been seeing it. Because we've been seeing it because God's been revealing it to us. And the prophet, the chosen and the elect, we know. We know what's coming. And we've been trying to warn people, tell them to get on the ark before it's too late, bro. Because in the days of Noah, we're in the days of Noah right now, where they said they'd be eating, drinking, marrying, giving into marriage. And then the flood came and took them all away. Told Noah to get on the ark, along with the animals, before he flooded the world. Before the great flood. So, and everything, right? So, we very well could be in that. We could very well be in those moments right now with the way the weather's going in the world. We could be in the final moments of what's going to happen pretty soon with the rapture, where the weather's going. We could be in the days of Noah where the flood hit the world. People need to be ready. And everything. It said that there would be a massive event that would lead up to the rapture. So, just saying. But yeah, we're in the days of Noah, man. We are, pretty much. And this stuff is real soon. As the Watchman said, we are pretty close to, the world going to where it is with the rapture. And the world's going to hell. And the only thing left to set this off is a war, possibly a World War III or nuclear war or something. It's all set into place. It's all been signed in. All these things have been put into place or set into play, or have been put in for everything for the Antichrist, or they've all been signed or been set in order. Including Stargate, which is a big giant supercomputer called Colossus, that they want to have put up and ready by September. Elon has said this. Dude, all this stuff is happening and nobody can see it. They can't see that they're building an AI technological future like the Tower of Babel, where it got taken down with all this technology. Try to play God, it comes to, and everything. And also try to reinvent humanity by enslaving them by using robots and AI and technology to rebuild the world. This is the Antichrist agenda. This is the son of Satan's agenda. This is perdition's agenda. This is the son of perdition's agenda. This is what he wants. He wants a world where it's replaced with robots, AI, and humanoid people, not real people. They're going to be wiped out. Half the population is going to be wiped out. If you've seen Left Behind or you've listened to the Left Behind books, half the population gets wiped out. So when it comes to and everything, and in eight, well, actually, this is in Revelation. Actually, an angel comes down to the earth and is able to use a sword to wipe out half of the population of humanity because of the fact they're it's the judgments on the wicked and the unbelievers. I'm not sure, but something like that. But yeah, bro, we're there, and everything. I realized we were there even yesterday when I pretty much came to it. But I was watching The Watchmen. I was like, yeah, we're that close, especially with the weather, and everything. And then him saying that you're gonna have people that are gonna kind of be not like each other or go against each other because of certain things, and everything. Unfortunately, but we are living in the days of Noah. We're living in the days of Noah, and we're living in the time that Daniel was prophesied to close up and not reveal till the end. That's what we're living in right now. So when it comes to and everything, and all this stuff, but their goal is to enslave humanity with AI, robots, and technology through receiving a mark or having this thing in your body that that gives you access to a computer or something you can do through it, but you have to have like a ID or you have to have something to prove that you can use this stuff in the future with the buy and sell system. Not to mention, Elon said everything's free. Everything will be free in the future, but it comes at a cost. That is, you can no longer buy or sell. So when it comes to and everything. See, people think I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do. And one day God will wake them up and make them see and understand what I was saying all along. They will. They'll see it for themselves. It's unfortunate that it's come to this stuff. But, we're going to be leaving. And most people are going to be left here. Because they didn't listen. And everything. But we're there. We're in the days of Noah. Yeah. We're in the days of Noah where everybody's just doing everything normally, going about their lives until the flood happens. It's going to happen. And everything. It's starting to happen. It's literally starting to happen in certain places. Currently in the world. And if you don't believe me, look at watch my dude Chris's channel here. Watch my dude Christopher's channel from GWR. He'll tell you about the weather. He's a guy that believes in biblical prophecy and principles. He's the guy that based a lot of stuff off on things that he's actually done research on. Very smart dude. I watch him every day, practically. So it comes from, and everything. But we're living in those times, man. And something's going to set it off, whether it be nuclear war, World War III, or, an economic collapse, which is probably going to happen with these tariffs and how everything's getting more expensive. Dude, they want to charge you $100 to play Grand Theft Auto 6 when it comes out in September. When GTA 6 comes out in the fall of this year, they want to charge you $100 to play the game. Can't make this stuff up, dude. Prices are just going through the roof. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is $100, dude. Just all this stuff is just. Oh boy, we need God to come back soon, bro. We really do. And I think he's on. I think he's. I think he's gonna be here sooner than we think. I think he's gonna be here soon. I think he's gonna be very soon. But yeah, this is my new favorite song. Let me play this for you guys here. But I like this song a lot. Been listening to it a lot lately. But I think it represents where we are currently, or we have been. I think very well. But yeah, yeah, dude. I do believe this world is going to hell, and it's not going to be. It's not going to be better. You know, so much stuff is collapsing. You know, and everything, including the economy. I do think the tariffs are going to destroy the economy. But yeah, if you don't believe me here, I got something from GRW here to show you.
Move very quickly.
You may be at church.
Yeah, he says there are a whopping 29 tornado warnings across certain places, bro. You can't make this up. It said their severe weather was supposed to pick up rapidly at the end. So we're getting close.
You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance. My God, what if his appearance occurs on a Sunday morning? My prophetic word to you this morning is get ready! Get ready!
Welcome back to the channel. Share, subscribe, like this video. Make sure you put your prayer requests in the bottom. We have multiple tornadoes on the ground. The ones in Arkansas are some of the biggest ones I think I've seen since watching these. Reminds me of the ones that was in Moorfield and stuff like that in Oklahoma. So these storms are going to camp out. They're not going to go anywhere. Okay. People think, well, they're past and that's it. These storms are going to camp out here in the next couple of days, and they're going to keep repeating in these areas. That's why you should have Ryan Hall, y'all, on right now and not turn it off. This is an emergency broadcast here. We're seeing over 25 tornadoes on the ground right now from here stretching all.
Also says if you have bunkers, need to go in bunkers because there's a lot of like major weather coming towards certain places.
All the way to Wisconsin. This is a major outbreak like we kind of figured it was going to be. And these are going to be wrapped in rain. And in the nighttime, it's going to be hard to see them. Right now, you should have your weather radio. You should be watching Ryan Hall, y'all, if you've got electricity. And you should be ready to get to your bunkers immediately if you're in Tennessee, Arkansas, all the way stretching up to Wisconsin in this strip of storms that it's firing off right now. You should be watching and listening to the Weather Channel at all times, all through the night. At nighttime, these storms are still going to be firing off, and they're going to be hard to see at nighttime. Tornadoes. The one in Arkansas is probably a mile long. This thing it's a monster. The one that's in Arkansas. So if any brothers and sisters live in the line of this, there's one just now got issued for Bowling Green in Kentucky, which is not too far away from me. These storms are firing off all over the place, and they're going to probably be going through the night. So make sure you have a weather radio. And tonight is a night you might.
It doesn't surprise me though. The weather's picked up rapidly in recent memory.
I'll not be getting any sleep.
Yeah, I hope that we are out of here. I hope we're out of here in the next couple of days.
If you're in
like I said, it makes sense that this is picking up because there's supposed to be some big stuff going down on April 5th.
These areas because
the Bubba News because I watched that or I read that.
These things could fire off all through the night, and tomorrow it's going to repeat this pattern, and the next day and the next day. It's going to camp out. It is not going to move very quickly. and it's going to dump a ton of rain on top of all the horrific damage. It's probably took out towns after towns already. So keep these brothers and sisters in your prayers. Keep watching. Be definitely, glued to a weather radio. And if you got electricity right now, go over to Ryan Hall, y'all, and camp out on there. I'm telling you, because you just don't know where these storms are going to come out at. All right, I want to get that out first because I'm not going to have a long program because this is going to be a night we might have to do another break-in with these storms. All right, Iran closes swaths of airspace in anticipation of the U.S. attacks. This happened tonight. Now, a lot of people are saying this is false, but I went in. You can actually check these, and they have closed off their airspace. So they either think an attack's coming or they're getting ready to attack Israel or Diego Garcia. One or the other. So we got to keep our eyes on that on top of it.
Probably Diego Garcia, because I've heard Iran's close to thinking about bombing Diego Garcia. Yeah, dude. Something's about to set stuff off soon.
Everything else that's going on right now.
Probably Iran, because they just recently released a video about all these nuclear.
All right, 400 pages.
All these nuclear things they got in this in these underground bunkers in these facilities. All these they're talking. There's a video on their nuclear facilities, all the stuff they have underground.
Of tariffs and
that stuff.
Trade obstacles and
Iran's not playing when they're saying that there's a possibility that they might actually try to go bomb Diego Garcia.
On the U.S.
So yeah, I think we're getting close to something. I'll be right back.
such a wreck in here. I can't even fucking tell. This is ridiculous. It's insane. Okay,
US today. This is China, the European Union, Canada, Mexico, the list goes on and on. Japan, Taiwan, all of them unloaded on us. These are all signs, people.
Yeah, we're about to have a global war.
Mexico, the list goes on and on. Japan, Taiwan, all of them unloaded on us. The US today. This is China, the European Union, or Diego Garcia. One or the other. So we got to keep our eyes on that on top of everything else that's going on right now. All right. 400 pages of tariffs and trade obstacles imposed on the U.S.
Golly, dude, jeez. Yeah, this is gonna kill the economy, bro. 4,000. Wait.
Diego Garcia. One or the other. So we got to keep our eyes on that on top of everything else that's going on right now. All right. 400 pages of tariffs and trade obstacles
400 pages of tariffs on trade obstacles
imposed on the U.S.
imposed on the U.S. Oh my God. Oh boy. Oh God, we need you now.
today.
We need you to come back soon. This world is screwed.
This is China, the European Union, Canada, Mexico, the list goes on and on. Japan, Taiwan, all of them unloaded on us. These are all signs, people. If you got eyes to see and ears to hear, listen to me very clearly. What we're seeing is chaos upon this world like we have never seen. The watchmen have been telling you for weeks now that something is different. JD Frog, all of them know it. Be looking up, okay? Be looking up.
Failed. Now it's up to God, and I don't know, bro. This is what happens.
All right.
People just don't listen.
China showcased military drill near Taiwan. We talked about it. Chinese had
And then we're the bad guys whenever we do something because
Taiwan surrounded
obviously anytime we get ready to do something, we're a bad person for it. You know?
in the last 24 to 48 hours. April.
It's like always find something to blame us for because of the fact that when we say things the way we do, it makes people upset. It's like it triggers them, it makes them upset.
Is an opening for them. The next one will be October.
They don't like it.
So expect anything with this. And China just unloaded.
Look at us weird and crazy and different, but pretty soon they're gonna be wishing that they
a ton of
listened and they didn't do this.
Tariffs on us.
The weird, crazy, different people are gonna be the ones that are gonna be gone from this world. We make the world what it is, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we do.
The Chinese military has published
going to be the ones that will be taken, bro.
Several videos showcasing a 2-day exercise. One day, this is not going to be an exercise. It's going to be the real deal. Everybody's going to think it's an exercise. That's why they're doing so many of these exercises over the last couple of years, because they have it planned that when the day is, people's going to think it's an exercise, and it's not going to be. That's the warning that it's coming. Launched by the Eastern Theater Command, ETC, the People's Liberation Army, PLA, on Tuesday, the exercises, designated as Straight Thunder, drew resources from multiple branches of the Chinese Armed Forces. Commander spokesperson Shi Qi stated that the maneuvers were focused on identification and verification, warning and expulsion, and interception and detention of various targets. They're also
verification. What now?
Resources from multiple branches of the Chinese Armed Forces. Commander spokesperson Shi Qi stated that the maneuvers were focused on identification and verification.
That sounds like something straight out of freaking Minority Report or Orwell. Yeah, that sounds like they sound something. That sounds very similar to the Beast system.
warning and
That sounds like the mark of the beast.
expulsion, and
Warning and expulsion. Huh.
interception and detention of various targets. They're also plotting a blockade on Taiwan. Now, we just put a ton of tariffs on Taiwan, and they've turned around and put that on our chips.
Wow. What did I tell people, bro? What did I tell people? I told you this world was going to hell.
Expect things to
I tried.
start getting very
I failed.
expensive now. There's going to be a lot of people
I try, God. I try. I do.
saying, oh, Trump is doing this and
I try.
it's going to work. It's not.
Try to tell people. Try to tell them, man. Try to tell them the economy was going to crash. These tariffs was going to destroy the economy, bro.
It's going to
Try to tell them. I literally have tried to tell them what's coming and what I've seen. They don't want to listen.
backfire. We know that because of what season we're in. This is all going to backfire. And war is going to come out of it. And the U.S. is already being bombarded. And it's going to get caught off guard. And the only warnings you're going to get is through the Watchman that it's coming. That's it. The PLA deployed the Shandong aircraft carrier group for the exercise.
After this, I want to show y'all guys a song I've been listening to that I really like a lot. This is a really relatable song.
Domestically,
I think this song is a song we need a lot right now with what's going on.
produced flagship, commissioned in 2019, carries
You'll see what I mean.
dozen of the J-15 naval jets in a primary arraignment. There are showcased the video released on Wednesday. Another clip from the ETC depicted an early morning alert in military barracks, followed by deployment of rocket launcher systems that they've been moving close to Taiwan's island on the coast of China. As I said, the warning signs are there. There's plenty out there right now. I've told you, expect the unexpected because of where we are. Israel surrounded. These are all clues that God give us.
It's Psalms 83. Yeah. I think I'm looking at April 5th. I really am.
Through script.
I think we're very, very close to. Stuff just seems like it's rapidly picking up, and that also means that oppression and certain things, and all sorts of stuff coming at you. But yeah, a lot of the Watchmen, a lot of the people have said that they've encountered the same thing. They've had a lot of stuff like this happen to them too.
Scripture to
Where it's picked up, where stuff is coming against them.
know what to look for.
It happens.
When we see them start, look up. All right. Kremlin responds to Trump's threat on sanctions on Russian oil, which he said 25%. The Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has stressed that Russia continues to comply with the ceasefire agreement, but Ukraine hasn't. He declined to comment on Wednesday when asked about U.S. President Trump's threat to impose tariffs on the oil. Trump said on Sunday he will sanction Russian oil if he considers it responsible for failure of the ceasefire, stating that there will be 25% tariffs on Russian oil. All these are warning signs. War's coming. America's going to be caught off guard. I'm telling you, most Americans have no clue this stuff's even happening until it's too late. During a phone call last month, Trump and Russian Vladimir Putin agreed to a 30-day memorial on strike targeting energy infrastructure. Moscow has insisted that they've complied. They've been hitting Ukraine too. They have not listened. The issue is highly complicated and requires considerable additional effort. Our dialogue with the American side is ongoing. He reiterated that Russian President Putin remains open to a political and diplomatic resolution. Don't trust these people. They're lying to you. God showed us the outcome of this. Somebody's going to do something here, and understand that it's coming. The fact that Russia is in coordination with the American side, he has declared a commitment to strikes against energy infrastructure in the clearest evidence, Peskov said. He stressed that Russia sees a clear lack of willingness from Ukraine. Both of them have ignored all this. The Kiev regime is not observing temporary moratorium and continues to launch daily strikes on energy infrastructure. He will maintain our dialogue with the American side, patiently presenting the reality on the ground of Kiev's refusal to pursue peace, and they're not going to. There is no peace coming. What is coming is sudden destruction, as Keegan would say often, and he's right. It is here. All right, Ukraine continued attacks on Russia's energy facilities, what we was just talking about. The Ukraine military has launched new attacks on Russia's energy facilities, despite claiming it complies with U.S. brokered truce. Well, Russia's doing it to them too. It's both sides. They have not stopped at all. Two incidents have registered in Russia's Kursk region. The Ukraine drones targeted a substation and damaged a power line in this area. The military said the attacks inflicted material damage and cut some 1,500 customers off the grid, he added. Now listen to this. Trump said today in a press conference that he doesn't believe there's going to be any ceasefire here. And he says it's definitely not going to happen before Easter. He said from what he is seeing, nobody's listening to anything. And they ain't. Iran's told him no. Ukraine's told him no. And now Russia, looks like they're saying yes, but they're not. They're still attacking Ukraine at will. Not only that, they're conscripting even more guys to go into this army. Writing's on the wall. We can keep warning you and warning you and warning you, but the writing is on the wall. It's there. Listen to this. Germany deploys troops to Russia's doorstep for the first time since the Nazis. 5,000 strong armored brigade in Lithuania said to combat ready by 2027, but they're already there. The German military has begun its first permanent deployment of troops on foreign soil since World War II. I told you, there is a resemblance of what's happening here. From World War II to now, the Baltics mining all their land between Russia and Belarus. This has happened before. Sweden, everybody building their bunkers, all happened before. As my history teacher said, know the past and it won't repeat. It won't repeat itself if you know it. But see, people don't know the past today, and they've tried to erase most of the history and make up their own history. But World War II is repeating itself. But this time it's with way more godly, horrible weapons that are coming. The nuclear bombs today are nothing like the little firecrackers that was let off in World War II. Biological, chemical, which I do believe we saw in 2020, that's only a hinge of what this. We already seeing this in Russia with a lot of people getting sick. Lots of people. The drones are still appearing en masse around the United States. A lot of governors are coming out saying, why are we still seeing this? No word from Trump. Nothing. Crickets. They know the government's falling apart. And they're going to try to make you think everything's fine and dandy because they know what people's going to do once they figure out what we figured out, that it's sinking. They know what there's going to be a run on everything. That's why gold's going up, the dollar's going down, the markets are crashing. It's all there. But they're doing a pretty good job of hiding it from Americans. They're doing a pretty good job at it. People think we're crazy, but we've got the evidence and the proof. And it's there, but people want to believe the lies that they're being told by the government. And they're about to find out the hard way. When all this stuff's crashed, they're not going to see it coming. They're just not. All right, so let's get into, let's see, where was I at? There is so much coming out. There's so much chaos. Tonight has been chaos beyond belief. It's coming from every direction. All right, if you're on Telegram, make sure you ever get our friends, Keegan Fernandez, Marty's 2-minute warning. Our good friend, Miss Lisa from across the pond there in Britain, and Bubba News. They're going to keep you updated on so many things happening right now, and there is a lot. Okay. Bubba just reported on this. President Trump's reciprocal tariffs surprisingly absent from Trump's tariffs list in Russia amid efforts to restore relations between them. Listen to this. Chile, 10%. India, 26%. Israel, 17%. Brazil, 10%. China, 34%. Japan, 24%. Turkey, 10%. Taiwan, 32%. Vietnam, 46%. Pakistan, 29%. Thailand, 36%. Australia, 10%. Malaysia, 24%. Colombia, 10%. Sri Lanka, which is a collapsed government, 44%. Singapore, 10%. Indonesia, 32%. Cambodia, 49%. Philippines, 17%. Switzerland, 31%, Bangladesh, 37%, South Korea, 25%, South Africa, 30%, United Kingdom, 10%, European Union, 20%. This leads to war, people. What it's doing, it's not going to bring the American economy back. If people telling you that, I'm telling you, do not believe it. They're full of crap. What it's going to do, it's going to turn our friends against us. So when these bad players we've been warning you about, the Russias, the the North Koreas, the Irans, and the Chinese, they're going to see that this is their window. And the guys that used to call us friends are going to turn a blind eye. America's being isolated, people. People don't see it yet, but I can see it a mile away. And if I didn't get the warnings, and we didn't put the warnings together like Bob Barber did there at End Times Dreams of Vision and all the watchmen, putting these pieces together, we would be pretty much oblivious just like everybody else. But we're not. We've gotten the warnings. We've seen this stuff happening years in advance, and we're looking at it right in the eyes right now. So be aware, nothing to be afraid of. Understand where you are and be looking up. Talk to a friend, talk to a loved one about Jesus and how much he loves them, because you're running out of time. And we're not promised tomorrow as it is. Just like tonight, a lot of people's probably lost their lives due to these tornadoes. You're not promised the next 20, 30 minutes, people. If you're lost, get on the ark now. Jesus is calling upon you right now to come over. Come home and accept Jesus tonight. I'm telling you, these things are bullying and bullying and bullying over. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time, brothers and sisters. It's a good time for us. Scary time for the world. That is just the truth. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, we got extreme rainstorms turns roads into rivers and cars swept away in Greece. So they're seeing catastrophic rainstorms. Catastrophic. Whew. Man, this stuff is like everywhere. Everywhere. Turkish army convoys inside of Syria on their way to new army bases in Syria. One in Homs and other in Damascus. Turkey has managed to penetrate the whole northern part of Syria. They're in Damascus. Israel is sitting at the doorstep of Damascus. Can you see scripture moving? Turkey hates Israel. They've already talked about invading Israel during the wars with Hamas. And now they're face to face. This is a future Gog and Magog player too. This could be the hook and the jaw once we're gone. These two. If you hear the little choo-chow, and that is Mr. Gabe. He loves when I'm on here. He hears me and then he goes to chowing down. He always waits. All right, so we've got that going on top of everything else. All right, I got 20 tornado warnings currently from Indiana to Arkansas. These are on the ground. Some of these are F4s. Some of these are massive monsters. All right, breaking news. Dow futures tumble over 1,000 points after Trump's tariff plan shocks global markets. And we're going to see more of these, and it's going to get worse and worse. A truly enormous shock is needed to tip the entire global economy into recession. Since World War II, there has been two such events, the financial crisis in 2008, and we all know about CV. This one is probably going to finish it off. This is it. And it's not going to be a recession. It's going to be a depression. But I do believe, brothers and sisters, we won't be here to see it. I think it's going to fall right into the tribulation period. Everything right now is literally moving it. You're seeing the tribulation being formed right now. That's what you're seeing. All right, breaking. 300,000 liquidated from cryptocurrency in the last 4 hours. Last 4 hours. It's a downward spiral. It's a downward spiral. Like I said, nothing to fear, but just know what's coming. And I've said it many, many times. And I know I might sound like a broken record, but I would rather you get aggravated with me saying it than me not saying it and you not hearing it. We are coming to the end here. Okay? The signs are all there. Everything's falling apart. We are in a sinking ship over here in America. Israel now is almost fronted by Turkey inside of Syria, which is not going to end well. It could be what destroys Damascus, Israel, because Israel and Turkey don't play well together. And Turkey has a formidable military. You can just see the disaster. It's there. You can see it coming a mile away. You can just see it. Russia just said last night there's catastrophic consequences to us hitting Iran. Trump's already and gave them to May 1st. That's all they got. And then he said, I'm gonna bomb the tar out of it. Then they go, on top of everything else we see liquidated on the tariffs, they take the Strait of Hormuz. Oil jumps to $400 a barrel. On top of all this, do you see where I'm going? Listen, this stuff is not made up. This stuff's truly happening, and they're keeping it hid. They use the press to make everybody feel like everything's fine, but everything is not fine. It's collapsing by the moment. Everything Trump's been trying to do, it's backfired. Every bit of it. The tariffs have not helped us. They've made it worse. The Dow Jones and the stock market has been tumbling ever since, and it's not going to get any better. Right now, America, just one disaster like 9/11 would put it in a catastrophic stage. And I think we're very close to something like that happening with now we're making all of our friends mad. And we know that there's so many of these people that made it across the border while Joe Biden was in, and they snuck in all these missiles. It's just a matter of time. Get people on the ark. Tell people about Jesus today. Because I'm telling you, you can just see time slipping away from us. Now, we're going home. We're going to a much better place that we don't have to deal with any of this junk ever again. That's Jesus' promise. He's coming back to get the church, and he's going to pull us out of here. Trust the gospel. 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. Jesus died on the cross for our sins, past, present, future. He died, was buried, rose again on the third day, according to the scriptures. Trust in Jesus and Jesus alone. Confirm everything through him. Pray for everybody with these storms, that these storms go somewhere else and leave everybody alone. Just keep praying for all these people, because there's, like I said, there is multiple of these things. This is also signs of the last days. We've seen massive earthquakes, the tornadoes, it's been off. Multiple sleeping volcanoes waking up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's right there in front of you. That's all I can tell you. If you don't believe us, it's right there. But don't get in front of Jesus and say, I didn't know. He's going to say, yeah, you did. They told you. And we didn't have to tell you. All you had to do is look. People don't want to look. But judgment's coming. Got to remember, last April the 8th marked an X over the United States. We told you then. It wasn't for then. It was telling you that judgment was coming on America. It wasn't for that date. It was coming later. We told you. In the tribulation, America will be judged along with everybody else. We're leaving. The bride of Christ is about to lift out of here. Beam me up, Jesus. That's about where we're at right now. The signs are there. Pray for everyone. Keep all your brothers and sisters in prayer, especially with these tornadoes. Keep your weather radio on. Keep glued to Ryan Hall, y'all, if you got power. But if you don't, have a NOAA radio. I'm telling you, they're the best thing you could ever get. And keep glued to them, because these storms will go over through the night, and tornadoes are harder to see at night. So you're in my prayers. All you prayer warriors, keep all of our brothers and sisters in all these locations. I'm going to get hit tomorrow with the rain and the wind and everything else. So it's coming my direction, and it's going to be over top of me all the way till next Monday. These storms are going to keep firing up. So we're going to have to keep watching the radio, keep praying for our brothers and sisters. I love each and every one of you. Don't see or hear from you again. I'll see you at home. Change of these fleet aircraft.
All right, I got some stuff from Bubba News to share with you guys. Now I'm going to show you that video. It says, why are the B-2 Spirit stealth bombers so important for the coming attack on Iran? The GBU and 57A and B Master Ordnance Penetrator MOP can only be deployed by the USAF B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. Each B-2 bomber can carry two GBUs, GBU-57 internally, while other bombers like the B-1 Lancer or the B-52 Stratofortress lack the necessary bomb base size or structural strength. The GBU-57A and B MOP is built to smash deep bunkers, weighing 30,000 pounds, penetrating 200 feet of concrete or 400 plus feet of soil before detonating. The 5,300 pounds of high explosives are optimized for delayed detonation for deep penetration, which maximizes destruction inside these hardened Iranian bunkers. Most of Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile development sites, production facilities, storage, and launch silos are heavily shielded deep inside mountains and beneath the Earth's surface. The only viable option for the U.S. to effectively destroy them is the massive GBU-57 bombs. It appears that Hamas still has a few short-range rockets. They don't like it that Israel continues to move further into Gaza. Last night was Rafah in the MORAG corridor. So tonight will be northern Gaza attacks after these little rocket strikes. Yeah, it means we're getting closer to Hamas's surrender because they're running out of supplies and resources, including rockets. Very well could lead up to May 1st, including with Iran. Which, if not April, I'm thinking May. Yeah, possibly. Israel keeps raising the stakes in Syria, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now that is all happening all at once in April. So I have my fears about April. Israel just bombed outside Damascus, and the area struck is in the northeast district of Al-Mazaya, which once hosted a military research center. The Hama Air Base was also bombed tonight by Israel. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, the destruction of Damascus is coming. They're attacking Turkey. Trump tells Inner Circle that Musk will leave soon. Trump tells his Inner Circle, including members of his cabinet, that Elon Musk will soon be stepping down from his current role as a government partner. Musk is a special government employee, meaning he can't work more than 130 days per year. Musk's tenure is scheduled to be over by the end of May. Interesting. Israel, is on a targeted bombing campaign tonight in Syria. Israel has hit outside Damascus, bombed the airport in Homs, but now the Tayas T-4 air base in the eastern Homs desert was also reportedly bombed by Israel. This is the same air base where the Turkish army is supposed to be deployed in the future, very near future. So Gog and Magog, basically. Israel already destroyed most, if not all, Syrian warplanes there 2 weeks ago. I wonder what they're hitting now. I can't imagine Israel hitting Turkish military equipment just yet, but it's possible. Turkey was bringing in a lot of military vehicles into Syria, moving to these locations. A big if, but if Israel hit any Turkish military gear, well, that could set off something big time. Update. Attacks aren't over yet. Israeli airplanes are still over Hama province. More explosions hit the air base there, at least 5 airstrikes being reported. In order to completely deny the new Syrian jihadist regime across the chemical weapons, the Israeli Air Force has once again bombed the Barza Scientific Research Center. Israel wants to destroy the chemical weapon making capabilities of Syria in an effort to prevent chemical weapons from one day being launched into Israel from Syria. The Hama airport being bombed tonight reminds me of the coming destruction of Damascus in Isaiah 17. Yeah, dude, that's what I was trying to say. All these things are falling into line, bro. And we see it and what's coming, because this stuff's really close. Yet no one wants to listen or hear. You know, because, right? And we warning them. But, I don't know. We're just, you know, pain because, like, whatever we seem to do just get I don't know. It's just, you know, you can't win. You can't win these final days because, you can't win these final days because the more and more you do this stuff, the more and more you're attacked, and the more you come after, and the more and more problems it causes. Right? This is what it said this was going to happen, and it goes, and everything. We would face a lot of, a lot of stuff toward us, and because the devil, Satan, certain things like that, certain stuff in our way causes these things to happen. It does it. He tries to tempt and make stuff and cause stuff to happen so that we'll react. I think that's really what happens. I think that's what it comes to, right? He wants to try to get us. He wants to try to tempt us and to get us to go back to our old ways. And everything, right? Once you change. And he wants to try to put temptation in your face, or he wants to do things in a manner to get you to react. That's the point. His whole goal is to cause chaos and conflict. That's the whole point, and everything. Even when we try not to, certain individuals, because especially me, when I tried not to cause, try to be calm and relaxed, and I try to be peaceful, and I try to go about handling things in the best way possible, patiently, or I'm I'm in a I'm in a fairly chill mood. Something always comes about to make it worse. Something always comes about to make it worse, or to cause me to react, to get angry, or to cause conflict, basically. Okay, when it comes down to it, I don't react for no reason. Okay, let's sort of rest when it comes to right and everything. I don't have an I don't have emotion problem. I don't have anger issues. I have a problem where I try to handle the situation calmly and in the best manner and do it in the best possible way, patiently. And I try to handle it in a good way, and I try to handle it in the best way I can. In other words, I try to handle it I try to handle it in a nice way, in a very chill way, and then it ends up getting bad because it's my fault. It ends up being my fault, ends up being my fault, and I feel like I'm being attacked and punished, or I have to suffer for something I didn't do. Everything. Even though I try to, in other words, I feel like that I feel like I'm to blame where everything's my fault, no matter what I do or say or how I come across. So I get angry, yes, when it comes to right, because I'm not sure how to handle that situation and what to do and what to say. So that has a lot to do. It has a lot to do with that I handle it in the most calmest, chillest, nicest way possible, and it doesn't, and that does not work, and I'm to blame for it. But I go about it doing it. I go about doing it. The first time around, I go about doing these things, in the best manner first, and then it ends up getting worse, and everything. It ends up getting worse, and ends up being my fault. So I don't start these things; they happen to me. You know, again, I don't start these things; they come at me. Okay, and I feel like I'm to blame, so I have to fight back. I have to fight back against stuff. I have to fight. So if you want to know why I do what I do, I feel like I have to fight. So yeah, I'm not necessarily a bad guy in a situation, because I try to handle it in the best manner, and when I handle it in the best manner, something just doesn't want to see me. When I handle it in the best manner, something just doesn't want to see things be good for me. They just want to make it worse in my life and make it harder for me and for me to suffer. I'm convinced stuff wants to come in and destroy my life and cause conflict and put me under oppression. That's why I have a problem where I always don't want to be in this world, and everything, because I don't fit in. It's like even when I handle it in a very calm, chill, normal manner, it doesn't work. I'm still to blame, and it's my fault. So that's why I do what I do, because I feel like I can't win no matter what I do, and my back is against the damn wall. So I feel like I have to fight. I have to fight. I have to fight back. I have to, in a sense, we have to wait. We wage war with other perspectives, right? I feel like I've got to fight. So yeah, that's a lot of it.
Thank
But I don't know, dude. I've been a fighter I've been a fighter and a person who's had to go had to I've been a fighter and a person who's had to go through a lot of struggles in his life for years. So I'm used to it. I'm used to having to be strong and strong-willed and fight.
thank you once again for tuning
Been through so many things. I'm just it's like, yeah, we're kind of built to be fighters, bro.
in to Global
We're
Raptor
built to be warriors.
Watchers, where we do daily updates here on YouTube, letting you know that we're one day closer to our Lord and Savior coming back. Thank you for all the support for this channel. This channel was created for God's sheep, those that are waiting for their Lord and Savior to come back and get us in these last days. We do updates once to 2 times a day here on YouTube. Thank you for all your support for the channel. God bless each and every one of you.
Or as Tupac says, dude, I was built, as Tupac says, I'm a soldier. It comes to, right? Where he says, what it says, I don't know, I was traveling through life, being blind, not knowing what was going on, having no idea about anything, or didn't have no idea. And then all of a sudden, things changed, and I'm just waiting. Don't know, don't just travel through life not knowing the time of day. But I like this song, and everything. Tupac, Tupac saying, nobody really quite understands me in the way I am, and they accuse me of a lot of things, and they think a lot of things about me, but they don't really know. And that's what makes me angry is that a lot of people assume so much. They throw so many assumptions at me. But let them keep judging me and throwing assumptions at me, and let them keep thinking that one day they're going to have to stand in front of God and be judged for themselves. So, all right, and again, and like God said, he doesn't like you accusing his people, or he doesn't like you accusing certain individuals that he uses for stuff. With what happens, that stuff can happen to you in your life for that. So he don't like that. So there's going to come a day soon when this world's going to be judged, and we're going to say we told him so. Hamat and Airpod are ashamed, but for they heard bad news. They are faint-hearted. There is trouble on the sea; it cannot be quiet. Jeremiah 49:23. Hamat equals modern day Mahama, Syria. Airpod equals modern day Aleppo, Syria. So it has to do with because Turkey's already in modern day parts of Syria. That means that they're getting very close to the destruction of Damascus. Hamat and Airpod are two cities in Syria. Okay. Tensions are rising earlier today. Itmar Ben Gvir prayed on the Temple Mount. Basically, Israeli minister Ben Gvir performed Talmudic rituals in the courtyards of the Al Qasala Mosque, aka Temple Mount, fully protected with an Israeli security detail surrounding him. Jordan and Egypt fiercely condemned Ben Gvir's provocative ascent to the Temple Mount this morning. Hamas condemned it, calling it a provocative and dangerous escalation. Now, Saudi Arabia says Rada strongly condemns Itmar Ben Gvir's storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque in the strongest terms. I have a feeling we might start seeing the Temple Mount becoming a very hot topic soon. Yeah, I think we're getting there too. The important spring feasts are coming up. Something is about to change. Maybe since Hamas said Al-Aqsa's flood, Ben Gvir is going to flood the Al-Aqsa with Jews. Saudi Arabia has Mecca and bars Jews, yet Israel keeps the Temple Mount and lets Muslims pray. And it's time to let the Jews come to the Temple Mount without any restrictions. Yeah, because it's looking like it's getting more and more closer to Hamas surrendering or something happening in Gaza. So he has 2 months left before the resources run out on the Gaza Strip. So there's something happening, bro. Something is festering in Syria tonight. Has Syria launched a jihad against Israel? Mosque, loudspeakers in Dara call for mobilization in jihad and converting the Israeli incursion into the Dara countryside. Armed Arab groups in Dara, southern Syria, have declared a state of high alert ahead of the start of their jihad against Israel. And attacks on IDF forces pickup trucks carrying armed terrorists were seen driven around the Dara area. Following tonight's attack, the monster calling on anyone with a weapon to come out and fight against IDF forces. Armed men are preparing to go to confront IDF forces in the city of Nawa in Dara, Syria. In minivans full of terrorists from Dara on their way to attack the IDF military positions. Syrian media is now reporting of clashes between Israeli forces and local government near Al-Jabala Dam in the Dara area, southwest Syria. Clashes erupt between residents of Dara and Israel forces near the Al-Jabala Dam. While Israeli reconnaissance drones are splattered over towns in the Yarmouk Basin, Israel has begun tank shelling these areas in Syria now. Tensions are building tonight. In 4 months, Israel has launched 730 or so airstrikes in Syria. At the same time period, 0 attacks have targeted Israel from Syria for now. That's not until Turkey starts doing it, because they're getting close to doing something from Russia against Israel. But yeah, Israel's launched a lot of attacks on Syria, especially with Hezbollah. So President Trump, reciprocal tariffs, surprisingly absent from Trump's tariff list is Russia, amid efforts to restore relations between the countries. Ukraine, however, was suspect to a 10% tariff. Yeah, these tariffs are going to just destroy cause so many problems. Where people don't know how bad it's going to get soon. They don't, but they're going to find out for themselves soon. Okay. It says Chile 10%, and we just trying to help. We just trying to do our best to help, man, and tell people. And we even when we try to do the right thing, we end up bad guy no matter what we do. It's just common. But that's what that it said that would happen to people who did that in the in those final days. So you know we get hated because we do the right thing, bro. Unfortunately, and then it leads to other stuff. So it's unfortunate. Chile 10%, India 26%, Israel 17%, China 34%, Japan 24%, Turkey 10%, Taiwan 32%, Vietnam 46%, Pakistan 29%, Thailand 36%, Israel 10%, Malaysia 24%, Colombia 10%, Sri Lanka 44%, Singapore 10%, Indonesia 32%, Cambodia 49%, Philippines 17%, Switzerland 31%, Bangladesh 37%, South Korea 25%, South Korea 30%, United Kingdom 10%, European Union 20%. These are all the reciprocal tariffs that Trump has put on other countries, dude. This is going to pretty much affect our economy in so many ways. It's going to cause a lot of problems with where we get some of our resources from, especially China. So the Syrians have begun mobilizing to confront Israel. They have absolutely no shot. They will get blasted from the air. When Israeli troops entered Dara, they entered into more of the southwest Syria with support of Apache helicopters. Initial reports the IRGC-backed Islamic Resistance of Syria is responsible for clashing with Israeli forces east of Nawa Dara region, southern Syria. Southern government condemns the recent Israeli airstrikes in a written statement, while Iranian-backed forces defend its sovereignty and positions in Dara region. Syrian sources confirm large number of casualties from the Israeli airstrikes against the Dara region in southern Syria. Yeah, and this has to do with Turkey, I think, again, as the Syrians began mobilizing. Well, actually, okay, maybe not, but yeah, if they try to confront Israel, especially with the backing of the U.S., they're gonna get shot down. There's no way. This is gonna be interesting. It's just a matter of time before Syria joins in with other Arab enemies of Israel to attack. That's Psalms 83. There continues to be big escalation of Israeli aggression against Syria. Damascus, April 3rd, 2025. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and experts of the... We live in some very biblical prophetic times, guys. People don't understand that, but only certain people know. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and experts of the Syrian Arab Republic condemns in the strongest terms the latest wave of Israeli aggression against Syria. The Syrian government says Israel hit 5 different areas. Access. Well, I mean, we live in one of the best. We want to live in one of the biggest prophetic years in existence, probably this year. A 5 different areas with airstrikes within 30 minutes, wounding dozens of civilians and military personnel. According to a statement from the Syrian foreign minister, the strikes resulted in almost completely destroying the Hama military airport. The foreign ministry condemned Israel for deliberately attempting to destabilize Syria. It's official. The Arab Syrian foreign ministry in Damascus, controlled by HTS, is called Israel's operation against jihadists in southern Syria aggression. I don't see any prospects for Abrahamic peace in the air in Damascus at this point. This means war. Yes, this is leading to the destruction of Damascus. 20 tornadoes warnings currently from India to Arkansas. Update: 29 tornado warnings currently. Crazy. Yeah, dude, this is literally the most severe weather I've ever seen in recent years, and especially this year. The weather's gotten crazy. I have never seen I've never seen weather like this in my life, especially this year. 20 tornadoes, and just this stuff is picking up massively. We're definitely living in some very prophetic times. If you study prophecy, we're getting we're in close. That we're very well getting close to the end, very soon. And nobody really gets it because they're not aware. But this is a spiritual thing, man. That's how people don't know. Be safe tonight, y'all. Yeah, exactly. So much weather going on. My friend Trap even has a massive storm coming to his area too. The last time he talked to me, so see, there are rumors that Israeli airstrikes at Tayas, and Hama air bases killed 3 Turkish engineers tonight. As of now, we're not seeing confirmation about this alleged incident in Turkish media, although they may change later. It's best to keep an eye on it for now. Yeah, Putin has also apparently threatened U.S., saying if they try to go after Iran, it's going to lead to something very bad. So, I do think this is how we're going to get dragged into World War III with Russia and Turkey and Israel and other countries. They might change later. Best keep an eye on Turkey also doesn't disclose casualties, so we may never know. 3 Turkish engineers were killed while working on site. It's true, this isn't a military strike. It's a direct blow to the foreign experts aiding hostile regimes. Meanwhile, Hama Air Base apparently was completely destroyed. 10 killed, 22 injured near Jabal Dam, Dara. So dozens more casualties reported in Damascus. Israel sending a clear message. No enemy, foreign or local, will operate with impunity. The Israeli army says they targeted runaways, field tanks, and surveillance radars at the T4 and Hama airports. Yeah. The destruction of Damascus is picking up. That's gonna happen very soon. All these things are falling into place, and it's said when all these things fall into place, and everything, look up because your redemption draws nigh, dude. It's coming, and everything. All these pieces are falling into place. And nobody gets it. This is all a spiritual thing. Prime Minister Netanyahu has landed in Hungary, defying the anti-democratic, anti-Semitic, and anti-sovereignty arrest warrants levied against him by the ICC, International Criminal Courts. Hungary is obligated to arrest Netanyahu as being a member state of the ICC. Hungary has promised they will not arrest him. We shall see. Now that's going to be interesting. Yeah, there's warrants out for Prime Minister Netanyahu's arrest because of actually what he's been accused of, apparently. So we'll see how that goes, but something tells me that and a lot of people don't like the way that him and Trump are handling the Hamas war. Because if you go watch ILTV, which is a network in Israel, they're not liking how a lot of them are very much against how they're handling the whole war with the Israeli hostages with Hamas. One of the hostages came out and said, President Trump, please end the war. It was an interview on 60 Minutes, if you haven't seen it. Where it's telling President Trump to end the war with Hamas and some other stuff. It's quite an interesting interview, But again, I'm just a crazy conspiracy motherfucker fucked in the head. We'll call that what it is. I'm just a crazy wacko motherfucker who doesn't, who belongs who belongs in a nut house. I'm all messed up and crazy. I can't control myself. I'm not normal. 60 News, Australia. News 60 Minutes. Probably can find it from ILTV if you want to keep up to date with news going around Israel and more in-depth stuff. Go follow them, and you can download the app too. You can also pay for a subscription to get up-to-date news. ILTV keeps you up to date with everything going on in the Middle East and around Israel. Including interviews and stuff with certain people talking about the war. 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes, Hamas war. So yeah, now I'm going to play you guys some songs that I've really been getting into lately that I thought was kind of interesting. I really do miss you guys a lot, man. I wish I wasn't banned. I want to get back to making and uploading videos, but, let's just call a spade a spade. YouTube hates me because I freaking tell the truth, and I call things like what it is. And I'm just real, and that's why I get a lot of backlash for what I do. Because and everything. Let's call a spade a spade. They're cracking down on all this shit because they're getting ready to introduce this system that they're trying to build. You know, and that's why internet and social media is getting harder for you to do certain things. Yeah, they're banning people for stupid things, bro. Let's call a spade a spade. They don't like me because I am. I'm literally freaking beginning to make people aware of what's going on in truth, and I'm, growing a perspective, and I'm, doing stuff that has an influence on people. That I'm doing something that has an influence on individuals, so that in the end it's going to pay off and stuff, and kind of growing a perspective. They don't like that. They don't. 60 Minutes Hamas interview. I don't know what it's called, but it was one of the hostages. Here it is. It says freed Israeli hostage calls for end of war, bring remaining Gaza hostages home. This is his interview about talking about him saying how they can handle the Hamas war in Gaza.
Statistics.
But the only thing is, people don't give me enough credit for how smart I am and how much I know, and how I don't really need this world personally and stuff. I can handle myself.
Tell the
I'm probably better off on my own anyway, alone. So, I'm a very intelligent guy.
a grim
He doesn't get the credit for what he does, and I never will until I leave this earth. But I understand that now.
story of the October 7th, 2023 Hamas terrorist attack on Israel. 1,200 civilians and soldiers slaughtered that day. 251 taken hostage, men, women, and children. Since then, an estimated 50,000 Gazans have been killed. 12 days ago, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu resumed the bombing of Gaza, breaking a fragile ceasefire that was exceedingly popular with Israelis.
I think this is American hostage Eden Alexander. They just released. This is one of the hostages. I don't know his name, so.
24
But yeah, I watched this. I saw this interview somewhere. I think it was on ILTV.
hostages
But yeah, this is how they feel about them handling the hostage negotiations.
came home alive.
It's like instead of all these ceasefires, try to find a way to end the war and bring the hostages back.
And
They're getting annoyed with them not giving their people back.
that ceasefire. Now, instead of quietly healing, many of them, frail, traumatized, and in pain, are out campaigning for the release of all the 24 remaining hostages still believed to be alive, suffering in the Gaza tunnels. This weekend, new talks around a possible ceasefire have been reported that would include releasing a handful of them.
The story will continue in a moment.
The anguish of Yardan Bibas, forced to sit on camera after he's told by
Okay, so yeah, it's a Bebas family, dude. Yeah, makes sense now. Yeah, the family that got
Hamas
the father was the only one that survived, and the mother and the children were killed.
that his wife
Yeah, these people are
and sons were
evil. The Hamas,
blown
the Hamas group, terrorist group, they strangled kids. They strangled children with their bare hands.
up in an Israeli.
And I'm a horrible person. And I'm a horrible person. At least I don't strangle children.
Air raid.
Yeah.
Though he now knows that the boys were killed by their captors.
They were murdered in cold blood, bare hands. They used to tell me,
Like, I've never killed anyone in my life, bro, and I wouldn't. Because I'm not a violent guy, but people do cause me to do things. I'm not a violent person, I'm not. It's just the way people treat me personally, why I do what I do.
ah,
I have reasons for why I do what I do.
doesn't matter. You get a new wife. Get a new kids, better wife, better kids.
They said that
God got angry too, with people.
Yeah, many times.
Got fed up, and probably what's going on with the world currently this year has a lot to do with the fact that God is trying to send warnings to people. So even God got tired of stuff after a while, and He just caused stuff to come upon individuals.
Many times.
His wife Shiri and two red-headed sons, 4-year-old Ariel and 9-month-old Kafir, became the symbol of the horror of October 7th.
But, the devil hates us, bro. The devil hates us, so he wants to cause conflict to us. He wants to cause conflict and stuff because he hates us because
When they were
we
kidnapped
are the image of God.
out of their home,
He wants to kill us.
while Yardan was driven off to Gaza on a motorcycle, swarmed and beaten by an angry mob. He was released last month in a staged ceremony, sent home thanks to a ceasefire. The
These people are pure 100% evil. They
bodies of his wife and
killed the former wife of
sons were returned later.
Amir Bebas and strangled the two children. One that was 5 months old and then one that was like 3 months old. Like babies. Strangled babies with their own bare hands.
Just 4 days after burying them, he made a public appeal. You wrote a letter to Prime Minister Netanyahu that was...
So, people want to think that I'm an evil person, dude. Look at the world. It's way more evil than I am. Tell you the truth. People don't want to confront their own. See, the thing about it is people don't want to confront their own sins with what they deal with. So they come at me.
Was read.
They don't want to confront their own sins. They don't want to confront their own morality. Actually admit to who they really are.
Aloud. And it was really a plea to stop the fighting.
Yeah, because we still have people there.
But don't you think that the fighting will encourage them to release the hostages?
No.
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 The fighting resumed despite a ceasefire agreement in place that would have eventually ended the war in exchange for all the remaining hostages. This is Bebas's first interview.
Because let me tell you something real quick, and this is harsh truth when it comes, and everything. This world's full of hypocrites, But if people took the mask off and actually had to reveal who they truly were, it would scare. It would, it would expose them for who they really are.
Chose
a walking, talking bunch of hypocrites in a world that puts on a fake image. I don't do that. I'm just me.
An American outlet, he said, so the White House would hear his message. If you could say...
That's what scares people the most. Having to literally take the mask off and look at themselves in the mirror and admit to who they really are. See themselves for who they really are.
Say something to President Trump.
Or what did Heath Ledger say in Joker? He said, what did Heath Ledger say in Dark Knight? He said, when the chips are down, these people they'll eat each other. They'll act totally different when they're in another scenario. In other words, Heath Ledger was exposing the hypocrisy of the world and the way people were.
What would you say?
Please stop this war, and help bring all the hostages back.
And you think he can help?
I know he can help. I'm here because of Trump. I'm here only because of him. I think he's...
So yeah, Jordan Bebas. I think his name is Jordan Bebas. I think that's his name. This is the father. He's the only one that survived from the remaining people that were released of the family of the hostages that were released from the family of people that were kidnapped by Hamas. Of the family, he was the only one that survived. His wife and two sons, they were killed by Hamas.
I know he can help.
And he said that I'm only here because of Trump. Trying to say tell him to end the war with Hamas and go in the Gaza war.
I'm here because
Free the Israeli hostages and bring into the war. And I don't think I don't necessarily when you look at it, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing or like I don't disagree. No, I think that I think I agree with that. They should find a way to bring the hostages home, but Hamas ain't gonna get rid of because it brings them leverage.
of Trump. I'm here only because of him. I think he's the only one who can stop this war again.
So you think he can bring about another ceasefire?
He has to convince Netanyahu, to convince Hamas. I think he can do it.
The lives of the hostages still there, Bibas.
When a person takes the mask off and has to see themselves for who they really are, it shows how their morality. It shows that it literally shows that they're a moral person. That it's not it literally exposes perspective of them realizing they're moral. And everything. They can't do everything themselves. They're not perfect, and they try to put on perspective, right? Anything. People don't want to. People are scared to confront who they. People are really scared to admit to who they really are behind the scenes, and only certain people can see it that have that. That's the discernment of. That's actually discernment of God. That comes to right Him allowing you to see people who really are in this world.
Says
and we're some of the few that can we're some of the few that only can see it.
Are jeopardized.
Well, we know how people work and function, and we know how people are in this world. We can see through the personas and masks they hide behind.
Every moment the bombing continues, and he knows. You were held mostly in the tunnels?
Yeah.
So when there was fighting going on, when the IDF was bombing, life got worse?
It's scary. You don't know when it's gonna happen, and when it happens,
Yeah, that was when the protests broke out in Gaza, bro, and they went out there and protested in the streets because there was a lack of resources and stuff coming into the Gaza Strip, food and water and all that.
afraid for your life.
And they were getting tired of the war, but meanwhile, Hamas was hiding down in the bunkers. They were hiding in the tunnels, but the IDF was bombing other places of Gaza. Hiding in the tunnels because it was able to keep them from being happening to them. So in a sense, you can say Hamas are basically cowards. They don't want to confront Israel because they're afraid of them.
Would
They're afraid of the IDF and what they're going to do.
move like
Hamas went to go hide in tunnels.
an earthquake, but underground.
Oh my God.
So everything could collapse any moment.
Weighing on Bibas is that his best friend is still in.
But meanwhile, while Hamas is while they're hiding in the tunnels, Israel's going around and taking out highly valued Hamas targets. They even bombed, I think, a building where one of their leaders was in it.
In Gaza, David Cuneo was kidnapped with his wife Sharon.
And then there was a whole thing about the whole signal thing that was leaked with the Houthis and Trump, but in Yemen, and it's talking about how one of the Houthi dudes was getting it on with his girl in a building, and the building collapsed on top of him when they bombed it. They basically killed one of the big leaders of the Houthis.
And 2 kids. They came home. He did not.
This is David. I know him from first grade, and this is his younger brother Ariel.
And they're both still in captivity.
They're both still in captivity, and I don't know if they gave enough.
I haven't seen the full interview of this. I actually didn't want to watch it. I've seen a little bit of it, but I didn't see the full interview from the former Bibas, the father of the Bibas family. I actually was interested in wanting to know his side of the story.
Food.
When I came to it, but yeah, I remember that. The news story about the Bibas family and how they were killed.
Enough water, especially
the children.
now when the
That was a horrible dude. That was a horrible day. That was awful.
war is back on.
People think I'm a people think I'm a cold-hearted son of a bitch. No, dude, I care. You know,
Tell us
very
about
empathetic. I'm a very empathetic and caring person, which is why I do what I do.
the friendship.
We did everything together. He was with me in every
That's why a lot of that. That's why a lot of stuff comes out of me. You know, I can only take so much when it comes to stuff, but yeah.
big thing in my life. He was in my wedding,
Well, that's why I get so. That's why I get like that as a person, dude.
and now I'm having probably the hardest thing I have to move with my life, and David is not with me. I lost.
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. I guess it comes from like I've had that in the past, but I've got away from it. I got better, but I guess it comes from losing my dad. I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose people in my life to what could come in the future, because I see a very, very bad future coming to this world, and I'm trying to save individuals from that happening.
Lost my wife
I
and
don't want something to happen like it happened to my dad, where they have to live. There has to be something like that where people live in that.
kids. Sharon,
Oh, yeah, I guess that may be where that come from. I passionately care about that stuff not happening.
must not look.
No, I'm not a cold-hearted son of a bitch. People think I am, but all right. They can think whatever they want, but really, no, I'm not. Not a cold-hearted son of a bitch. I'm not an asshole who has nothing for anybody else. You know, I just treat people the way they treat me. You know how the old saying goes: treat others the way they want to be treated. Well, that's what I do.
Lose her husband.
Hours after the bombing resumed, Biba stood in silent protest alongside another recently released hostage, Keith Siegel.
This war must end.
Keith, who's Israeli-American, and his wife Aviva had gone to the White House to thank President Trump for their release.
Thank you. Take care of yourself. Okay.
This is your...
You want to know how I really feel right now, or what I felt like the last couple of days with what's happened? This song here. Listen to this song, and it'll tell you, it'll explain to you how I think and like what I feel as a person. Okay, because nobody really bothers to really understand how I really, how I really feel about a situation, or never bothers to really kind of look at things from my point of view. They assume I'm a bad person no matter what I do. When it comes to, right? But listen to this. This is a song I've been relating to a lot lately, of how people, about how I don't think people quite understand how impactful this song is here. Listen to this. It's called God We Need You Now. This song's really good. Just listen to this song a second. But it explains how everything, it explains how so much has changed the last 3 years, and COVID. And COVID changed a lot of things, but, this explains how our world's kind of gotten to where it's become.
The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate.
This is not a physical perspective. This is a spiritual battle. This is a battle
My fighters
opposing forces.
ain't no feather.
It wants to take us down.
Wait, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know
Basically, people don't know what's coming.
it's
The
fun,
song is basically saying people have no idea what's coming.
but get
They don't get it.
ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth.
Words, you know, we're going through a battle with what's going on with this world, with everything.
God, we need
It's a battle, bro. It's a war.
you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective,
We're supposed to be built to be fighters, bro.
but I got
Strong.
a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, blind, not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheek. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally,
Yeah, it's talking about how this crazy world wants to do stuff,
one day they finally,
you know, because we see the truth. We know what's going on.
they
They got against it. They hate us.
finally see
And they hate people that are like this.
the truth.
It's the truth, bro. They've been trying to silence us for years.
God,
They tried to kill the former president.
we need you now.
They just don't like the fact that we speak the truth.
We need you now.
It's, you know, but we were given a voice by God for a reason, bro. We are the,
We need you now.
you know, that generation. We are the chosen generation, bro.
One day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, I hope you see the truth. This
I think that we've
puppet show
we've been made to stand up and fight because of what we've been through.
stays on because of you fools. We've
Yeah, it's a battle for country, a battle for religion, a battle for a lot of things.
been dancing with the devil way too long.
They want to take it all, bro, and control it.
I know
It's
it's
the truth. They want to take it all and blow it. They want to take it all and they want to control all of it.
fun, but get
It's called the one world beast system.
ready to pay your dues.
They don't want you to know.
Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally.
What does it? It says this crazy world's trying to abuse us. Yeah, because they don't like the fact that we freaking stand up for the truth and
I
they
hope one day
speak the truth and we speak out against stuff. They hate us.
they finally see the truth.
Yeah, they hate the people that are still the true patriots.
God, we need you now.
nothing to do with politics and religion. It has to do with fighting for our country. It has to do with fighting for our country. Well, I guess a little bit. It has to do a little bit with religion, but not that much. We're fighting a battle, bro. It's been the lesser of two evils. It has. It's a war, bro. And it's been a war for the last 3 years. It's been a war since COVID. That's why all this stuff has happened. It's a spiritual warfare battle, dude. It's a spiritual war. You have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. Or this song here.
This is
High Res and Jimmy Levy. This is a war.
a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war on tradition. This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war. This is a war.
This is a war that we living through, never reveal to you that they also leaving killing you. They don't tell you what the hell you agreeing to, sheeping and hurting you, don't know who leading you. Keep on proceeding to follow, your mind is so hollow. Are you being coddled by government swallowing up everything that the media tell you without a question or a problem? All of the sheep being slaughtered, they poison the water, removing the father, ain't trusting these daughters, ignoring blue collar, keep printing the dollar, brainwashing your sons and your daughters, ain't got any honor if I'm being honest. I just ain't picking this side, but I'm gonna ride for my freedom and die for my freedom and question the government lies. A lot on my mind and so little time, gotta think all of us needing a sign. The devil he hides, an ego and pride, they sell, then they paying the price. God won't give you more than you can handle. Government should be dismantled. Every politician got a scandal. Prepare for the war, we going to battle.
This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war on tradition. This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war. This is a war.
I'd rather be red pill, get killed, than ignorant living and meet that still. Don't stand up for something, you falling for nothing. Don't wait till the world that we know fall ill. This is the revelation of our generation, losing civilization. I'm the Terminator, just to liberate us with our dedication. For the Terminator, fuck your medication. The administration cannot alienate us or exterminate us. I'll just keep on praying for your salvation. You are outdated, society becoming outrageous. Keep your house painted for the firstborn. The angel of death in its worst form. We being scorned, look out for their horns. Remember, this isn't their first war. They coming prepared, so just be aware. They do.
Yeah, dude, they've hated this. They've hated the people and concepts since 2016, and then the 2021 January 6th stuff.
I wanna hear none of your prayers. This is a war.
No, they hate us, bro.
They ain't playing fair. They feed off your.
Hate the fact that we got revolution.
Fear. They wanting you scared. Death and despair. It's all in the air. Just be aware. You think I care? The more that you know, the more that.
This generation, they want to wipe it out. That's why they want. That's why they want to support.
It's clear. This is a war.
Pass a law to.
It's already here.
Abortion be legal.
War on religion.
To kill the generations, bro.
This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war on tradition.
See, I think everything changed after COVID. That's what I think. I think they destroyed it all after COVID.
This is a war.
The world's been different since COVID.
On religion. This is a war.
I don't know. I say we're gonna kind of start. I believe, like, I don't know.
They give you the cure.
The world chat
with the sickness. This is a war. This is a war.
Yeah, the world. There's been this like war, this perspective. There's been this battle ever since COVID happened.
Oh.
COVID really changed the way people saw the world.
Of the slave to the crickets make a sound. Where's the bold and the brave? We all have to stand our ground. Oh, of the slave to the crickets make a sound. Where's the bold and the brave? We all have to stand our ground. This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war on tradition. This is a war on religion. This is a war on the children. They give you the cure with the sickness. This is a war. This is a war.
Israel. To destroy Israel. Dude, it's a spiritual thing, bro. We living in biblical times, bro. Especially this year. Need to study and do some research. Really need to start learning what's really going on with the world. Let's see. And then there was this other one I like. I realize I'm either going to die or I won't be in this world soon. So y'all probably will not see this video. But maybe you will. Depends on where things go. But yeah. At least people will probably see it or hopefully will be able to see it when I'm gone. And they'll see what I meant for themselves. They'll know what's happening. They will. I'm done holding back what I'm saying, dude. I'm gonna tell people everything needs to be said. It's like they want old me back and who I used to be. They want the old me. They want the person that did not hold nothing back. They want that person that was pure 100% uncensored. I've changed a lot in recent years, but that's how I'm having a hard time bringing that back. So yeah. That's it. I don't know. Yeah, him and Jordan Meyer, they had a lot of good songs. Another one here that was one of my favorites was Welcome to the Revolution and what was it? Faith Over Fear. I like these two songs. I like Faith Over Fear and Welcome to the Revolution.
We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution. We will not comply with the institution's sick illusion. No, it won't be televised. Welcome to the revolution.
The revolution won't be televised. Government been telling lies. If you're not with us, you better step aside. Witnessing a genocide, everything is centralized. The food that we consuming, they spraying it all with pesticides. Easily identify the sheep and the snake, the real and the fake, giving us a reason to pray. I'ma make my own.
It's funny, personally. People, keep doing stuff until, and I get it. It's a battle. It is. I realize that. And something wants to push me back to the way I used to be. Something wants to push me or wants to cause me to go back to the way I used to be.
Choices of
that's what it is. It wants to
voice for the voiceless. They trying to destroy us, avoiding the.
It wants to push me into a perspective.
Poison. It's all
back to. In other words, I'm being tempted to go back to like what I was in the past.
Pointless if you don't have a purpose.
When it comes to,
If you read the verses, you'll know who we versing. Government can
it's happened a lot lately.
tell you what your worth is. Look deeper than the surface. They don't even want you researching
I have changed a lot, yes.
or asking questions. We all being tested. Shut your mouth and comply. That's the message. Want you depressed on prescriptions that mess with your head. Got you stressing, suppressing expression.
We will not comply with the institution's
and it's like, they do that until they get what they're asking for, or they poking the bear, or they do that until they get it, or they keep doing it until they get what they're wanting, and then it doesn't end well. Because you don't want this. You don't want me like this. It's not good for you, bro. I don't hold back anything I say when I'm in this mode. And I don't like this perspective. That's why I try to get away. I try to change, bro. We all got evil and good. We all got good and evil inside of us. It's how you it's literally how you choose to be as a person. You got good and evil. It's really, it's about choice. It's really about like how you choose to be. Scare yourself, man. Yeah, and everything. We're all full of. Well, we both have a good and evil side to us. I don't really think there's no such thing. Well, okay, when it comes to, I guess there's really. I don't think there's real such thing as technically 100% evil. But still, we all got two sides to ourselves. And if people don't think, and if other people say that that's not true, oh, that is true.
Keep the money, I would rather have my soul. They want power and control, that's their number one goal. All my friends turn to foes, look how easily they fold. Even Nazis say they were doing what they told. Walking down this road all alone in the cold, but my soul never sold, I'm exposing the
There's people that, they keep poking me and they keep doing stuff to me till they get what they want, and then it doesn't end well. Right?
clones got us chosen.
So, your choice, but people can keep doing what they want to me. It won't end for you. I got some hard stuff to say to you.
In this road, all
some stuff that will literally make your mouth drop wide open.
Those who oppose
seriously
want me hopeless and broke like I'm nowhere.
I can say some stuff that can hurt deep down.
Votes. I'm just trying to tell
me.
I'm all about the flood. I
don't want to, but it just always seems like this stuff comes against me.
Feel it in my bones, I can feel it in my blood. Man, I came up out of mud. Only God is my judge.
That's why I try to rely on God to help me get through what I get through.
I don't listen to these politicians, they the real thug.
Because I've been through a lot in my life, and I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and a lot of hardships, a lot of struggles, and I've been through some really difficult shit in my life the last couple of years.
Won't comply with the lies that
including COVID, dude. I'm going through a lot of tough stuff that a lot of people would not be able to get through.
They want you compliant, the media's bias. These corporate giants are capitalized.
That's why I do what I do, and I talk about what I do. I say what I do. Maybe it can bring, help people, motivate people, do something for somebody.
But I'll keep on fighting.
Understand, bro. When it comes to everything. I talk about my story, so maybe I can help your issues. I might help someone else. I can relate. Of how I got through. I got through one of the toughest situations in my life. And I do believe that God helped me get through it, yes. He made me a better person. I still struggle with stuff like everyone else, but yes. Stuff that there's still things that try to get me to go back to my old self.
Welcome to the revolution. They're trying to dumb us down. Don't want us to make a sound. We gotta get out of now, 'cause it's a revolution. We will not comply with the institutions. Sick illusion. No, we won't be terrified. Welcome to the revolution.
Well, what people fail to realize is it's just a much bigger perspective. There's a bigger thing behind the scenes going on than people realize, and it's a battle. It's a battle. It's really technically a spiritual battle. It's a battle you wake up every day and you're literally trying to fight. This world,
If you want to,
this world, this perspective, if you think about it, is temporary for most people. They won't be here. You know, this is not where they're going to be. You know, it's for the time being. A lot of people, maybe, yes, but it's only temporary for some.
really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
This is why they shot the former president.
We're sitting on God's ground, ain't running, they know we got that.
Anyway, well, yeah, I mean, you know, this world is gonna fall away for most people. Time, bro. This year, probably.
One time for the USA, she back in the biggest way. From the hood to the home of the range.
Yeah, we were given a voice, bro, and I'm not gonna be silenced.
Shout out to US veterans, the ones who
This is why people either love me or hate me.
drew them weapons. They took that oath and kept it. Too deep and unprotected. God's ground. President took a bullet to the head. No, we won't lie down. Sediment couldn't stop them. Raised his fist and said to fight now. Residents took to ballots and they voted. This land ours now. It's yours now. It's mine now. It's God's ground.
This is do or die screaming. Fight, fight, fight. God's ground. We're standing on God's ground. We ain't running. They know we got that red blood running through our veins. Through the peril and the pain. Make no mistake, this is no man's land. We're standing on God's ground. We ain't running. They know we got that red blood running through our veins. Through the thunder and the rain. Make no mistake, this is no man's land. We're standing on God's ground.
In the band that God created, why they when they call evil good? Kilometer when it alternated, yeah, alternated. Red to blue with that fallen nature. Back to red, I called on my savior. I know God did us all a favor. Never got the right man in office. Sticking to the
This is basically what's going on today, right here.
God created, why they when they call evil good? Kilometer when it alternated, yeah, alternated. Red to blue with that fallen nature.
This is what they tried to silence back in July.
Back to red, I called on my savior. I know God did us all a favor. Never got the right man
They wanted freedom of speech. They didn't want any of this stuff. They didn't want an election. They wanted nothing.
in office. Sticking to the people that's spoken. Falling down, blowing it back.
They didn't want the voice to have. They didn't want the voiceless to have a voice.
Have those losses, God's promises won't be broken. I stand up in the land of the free, but it doesn't mean everybody gonna be brave. I'll turn my
But it says the meek will inherit the earth.
back to the enemy, then let me see. God's
And the first will be last, and the last will be first. The last will be first, and the first will be last.
when the enemy say,
This is do or die screaming. Fight, fight, fight. God's only clear victory tonight. We're standing on God's ground. We ain't running. They know we got that red blood running through our veins. Through the peril and the pain. Make no mistake, this is no man's land. We're standing on God's ground. We ain't running. They know we got.
In other words, really, when you look at it, if you're last, you're first. In other words, if you're you're an underdog or you're overlooked, you're first. We put him first. God will put his people where he wants them to put them.
This is no man's land. We're standing on God's ground.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country.
We're standing on God's ground. We ain't running. They know we got that red blood running through our veins. Through the peril and the pain. Make no mistake, this is no man's land. We're standing on God's ground. We ain't running. They know we got that red blood running through our
It also says that he puts in kings and he takes away kings.
veins. Through the
People in positions, he takes people out of positions.
and the rain. Make no mistake, this is no man's land.
It's not a coincidence, bro. What put where they are for a reason. You are what you are for a reason. If they want to tear you down. So, people can do what they want against. People can do what they want against us, but dude, nothing they do will prosper against us because, you know, stuff can be formed, but it can't prosper. Nothing will prosper against us because it just won't happen.